Calendar for the day. The first bill on the calendar for the day is House File 1064. The clerk will report the bill.
House File number 1064, number 1 on the calendar for the day, an act relating to education finance, the first engrossment.
I recognize the member from Hennepin, the author of the bill, Representative Davney, to your bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wanted to take a moment and wish you and Gilbert a happy National Puppy Day, and to all who celebrate, right? Members, it's a beautiful spring day out there. You can tell because in Minnesota it's raining rather than snowing today. That's great in its own part because we know we need the rain, our farmers need that, but it's also a great sign that summer is coming. House File 1064 before us today is a product of discussions with many people, parents, school board members, administrators, teachers, reflecting on what education has looked like this past year during this unprecedented global pandemic. And let me start there by thanking the teachers, the school staff, administrators, and school board members who have brought everything they have to educate, support, and guide students through this difficult year. In-person, distance learning, hybrid options, masks, barriers, school sports, food supports, online choir and band. How do you do that? And so much more that made things happen and made things work for students. And I also want to give a shout out to the Minnesota parents who found themselves as untrained teachers' aides, guiding their children through a world turned upside down in just a few short weeks. I always say that parenting is an adventure, but sometimes more so than most. And for many of us with children at home, this has been an adventure. So now, as those adults who have stood up for the students in Minnesota, it is time that the Minnesota legislature do the same thing. With more than 90% of schools now in-person learning and teaching, with more school staff vaccinated, we have reason to hope and reason to act. We can make summer work for students and focus our work on those who need it most. How do we do that? In House File 1064, we focus on these primary goals: providing summer programming through community partnerships, providing summer mental health services for students and for staff, because this has been a difficult year for many of them as well, addressing declining enrollment in many schools across the state, ensuring college readiness for our recent high school graduates, knowing that mental health, knowing that some students were uniquely hard hit by the pandemic, we include funding for several special education services, including extending special education transition services for eligible students who otherwise would be aging out. Lastly, we remember the little ones. We provide $20 million in summer preschool to prepare next year's kindergartners for school. Importantly, members, the funding in House File 1064 nicely complements the federal ESSER and GEAR funds for schools. I'm pleased to report, those of you who were present in Ways and Means last week know that there was $57.5 million in federal funds available for our school districts, but held up by the Senate GOP. It's been held up for an extended period of time, limiting school districts' ability to plan responsibly and accurately. I'm pleased to report that that hold has now been lifted. Those funds will be coming to school districts. They can count on that, they can plan on that, and families can too. Madam Speaker, To discuss the early childhood portions of the bill, I'd like to yield to Chair Pinto, if I may.
Chair Pinto, will you yield?
I will, Madam Speaker.
Representative Pinto.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, Article 1, Section 3, Subdivision 9 of the bill contains a provision that was heard in the Early Childhood Committee and passed out, and then also contained in House File 1064 before us. And what it does, as Chair Davnie referenced, is that it allocates $20 million to ensure that our youngest learners, ages 4 and 5, are ready for kindergarten this fall. These funds can be used at private preschool, public pre-K program. These are for in-person learning programs, and they ensure that we have the highest quality learning opportunities for those young kids and are prioritizing the most vulnerable learners. And so members, this is really important spending to make sure that our children who've been impacted so severely by this pandemic are ready for kindergarten this fall, which is very important to all of us. Thank you, and back to Chair Davnie.
Representative Davnie.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Chair Pinto. And just to close, this is a preschool to career package, members, that needs to move now. Schools need certainty and budget projections to plan from. Families need to know now what opportunities will be available for their children to learn and grow this summer. Some of these elements have been introduced in this legislature as far back as last July. The time to act is now. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
There is an amendment at the desk. The clerk will report the amendment.
Bennett moves to amend House File number 1064, the first engrossment. The amendment is coded A2.
The member from Freeborn, Representative Bennett, to your amendment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, the A2 amendment appropriates $2 million for the SANA Foundation. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about this foundation. Get to my notes here. So the SANA Foundation serves low-income, underperforming students in public middle schools and high schools. It's an excellent, excellent program based on real data that shows success. They provide coaches that partner with students in public schools to provide on-site service for students identified most at need. Those students who are really failing or near failing. They increase their academic performance, improve school connectedness, develop leadership and relationship skills, and help those students become positive contributors to their schools and their communities. Data shows significant success, especially for students of color, non-English students, and other low-performing students. In addition, the SANA program includes a pathway to bring more teachers into the profession, which we all know we need, and especially teachers of color. I was so impressed when I heard the presentation in our committee, not only how they are helping students, but in addition, how they partner with colleges to provide classes for these coaches that they have in schools, and they're paying the coaches so that those coaches are able to take the classes. It's just an amazing program. And Madam Speaker, I would like to yield to Representative Tice, if I may, so she can provide some additional information.
The member from Stearns, Representative Tice.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Representative Bennett. I have no greater pleasure today than to talk about the SANA Foundation and what it's done in the St. Cloud School District. It has been a blessing, because the biggest component, and when you look on their website, they talk about it right up front. What a great thing. Empower kids, improve lives, and unite communities. And it has, many communities. One of the first things you see on the Dreamline program is teamwork makes the dream work. And the first thing it does is it says that it addresses the achievement gap. And we certainly need that. But what's really, really important is that it shows the measured results. And Mr. Sané has come to our committees and he has told us some of the results that they've seen in St. Cloud, and it is nothing short of miraculous. A's increased by 54%. Now this is just all over. This is just off their website. B's increased by 12%. C's decreased by 7%. D's decreased by 55%. and F's decreased by 18%. But they also do some, what are you going to do when you're done with high school work, which I think is just super, super important. But what I also love is how involved Tony Sine and the Sine group is involved with the community. They've helped with the Conway Community Center, and I've had a chance to be there, and it is loud, it is fun, it is full of kids. But they also do some sponsorships, and they've been feeding the community children, and they've been doing so many different things. They've got camps kids can go to, and what it's doing is teaching them not only teamwork, but it's teaching them community. I love it. I've been to Tech High School and visited one of the classrooms when they were listening and reading a book. It was quiet. This is a high school class. It was quiet. Everybody was reading. Everybody was doing their work. And we pulled a student out. And at first he's like, what did I do now? And then the minute he saw Tony, it was like his whole face just changed. And when he saw the coaches, they changed. I got to meet Lucas, who at that time was a coach at South Junior High. He's amazing. He would come at, I think at first it was like 7:15 before school started. But he was starting to get there at 6:45 because the kids were having so much fun. And when I look at the bill before us, and I wonder why we don't fund programs like that we know have wonderful, wonderful value to them. And yet we're going to spend $2 million on our full service community. And I'm like, no, we would rather see our students close the achievement gap. I'm not looking for just summer school funding. This funds bureaucracy, not classrooms. But our bill targets fix the problem. We put in programs like this that have been working, that have been amazing, and we don't say, well, he can do it himself, he's rich. No, Tony's got his fingers in a lot of things, and he needs help with it because his program works. And we need to piggyback on these programs. So thank you, Representative Bennett. Obviously, you can tell I can talk about this forever, and you're probably saying, why did I ask her? But I love this program, and we have seen so many results in St. Cloud for so many wonderful kids. Thank you very much, Representative Bennett.
Representative Bennett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Representative Tice, for sharing those personal experiences. I know St. Cloud has really benefited from this and the students there. Madam Speaker, I'd like to yield to Representative Erickson, if I may.
Members, just to apprise you, it's the custom and usage of the House that when we're presenting, we can indicate the next person we'd like the speaker to call on. You can't hold the floor by yielding to a number of different people. As a courtesy, I'm allowing it to present the bill and the amendment, but it's not the custom and usage of the House to hold the floor and yield to members. But Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Representative Bennett and Representative Tice, for your support of this amendment for the Santa Foundation funding that comes from our full-service community schools fund in the Davney bill. You know, full-service community schools do have 4 pillars, and one of them is supposed to be to work on achievement. But as I have looked at the results of full-service community schools in the Minneapolis district, I find, for example, that Bethune is stuck at 12.4% proficiency in reading. But members, if you think about the Santa Foundation and the 3 pillars there that both Representative Bennett and Representative Tice pointed out, achievement comes first, physical prowess second, and unity third. And so a combination of achievement and the physical well-being of the child, of the student, and their ability to interact with all different students in their school, whether it be St. Cloud, Minneapolis, St. Cloud, or Rochester, shows us what a great program this is to fund. members, the Santa Foundation has these pillars that have raised achievement in language arts, which is our reading component, 400%. You heard the great improvement from Representative Tice, but a 400% improvement in achievement in reading is so phenomenal. And so the mentor or the tutor mentors who work in the program provide that encouragement, that teaching. They help the students learn the skills, they reinforce the skills, and we can be so proud of a program that is doing that is actually focusing on that which we are supposed to be about, and that's dealing with the intellectual needs of our students. A 500% increase in math has also occurred, and that is something we want to recognize as attributable to the kind of tutoring and mentoring that occurs through the 2 or 3 who are assigned to each of our schools. Finally, I want to support this amendment because it is also a pathway for the teaching career, because these tutor mentors get the opportunity, as Representative Bennett pointed out, to get into a learning program whereby they can pursue their teacher licensure. So members, I stand with a great deal of support for this amendment and hope that you will all support it as well.
Representative Bennett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for your advice on yielding too. I wasn't aware of that, so that is very good to know. I will just say that I really hope we can support this amendment. I also know Representative Erdahl would like to speak to it, but he does have a hard time, or is having a hard issue with his computer raising his hand, so I'll just let the speaker know that. But thank you, Madam Speaker.
Discussion to the Bennett amendment. Representative Davnie.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, during this pandemic, families and communities have turned to their schools. For internet-enabled devices for their kids and hotspots to ensure connectivity for distance learning. For food, to help make sure everybody around the table gets some. For mental and emotional support, for education, for connection. The Bennett A2 amendment proposes taking money away from full-service community schools, where in that provision we challenge school districts to jumpstart the planning for full-service community school services in the fall, to put it to one place. Members, we all talk about the schools being the center of our communities. The full-service community school model, a proven model across the country and here in Minnesota, supports that center of our community role that schools play by not just talking about it, but by working with the community to build those services that they want and need for their children and families to thrive. Members, I ask for a no vote. Let's build and strengthen communities through full-service community schools. Ask for a no vote. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Bennett.
Madam Speaker, thank you. And I'll just close by saying this is a program that has specific data showing amazing growth in these students that really need it, and an amazing closure of the achievement gap for these students. So I would encourage and just highlight this program and others like it that really make a difference in many students' lives and in many ways. Madam Speaker, in the spirit of working together, and I do know the SANA program has mutual support from both sides of the aisle. We have DFL authors, GOP authors. It's an excellent program. I don't think anybody would argue against that. But Madam Speaker, I will withdraw this amendment just in the spirit of working together and not asking that it go on to this particular bill, but certainly asking that it would be included in the future final education bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Bennett withdraws the A2 amendment. There's an amendment at the desk. The clerk will report the amendment.
Bennett moves to amend House File Number 1064, the first engrossment. The amendment is coded A6.
Representative Bennett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I will withdraw this amendment as well.
Representative Bennett withdraws the amendment. There's an amendment at the desk. The clerk will report the amendment.
Damath moves to amend House File Number 1064, the first engrossment. The amendment is coded A7.
The member from Stearns, Representative Demuth.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The A7 amendment appropriates $20 million to the Early Learning Scholarship Program under Section 124D.165. This is similar to the governor's proposal, but rather than establishing a new grant program to an already crowded system of early childhood programs, this uses proven existing program within strong bipartisan support. The commissioner and scholarship administrators would use these funds for 4 or 5-year-olds not yet enrolled in kindergarten, who otherwise income eligible or eligible under special circumstances, including children in foster care, experiencing homelessness, or in need of protective services. The funds may be used to increase a current scholarship or provide full-time summer services. And with that, Madam Speaker, I would appreciate a roll call.
Representative Demuth requests a roll call. Are there 15 hands? There are 18 members in the chamber. There are 15 hands. There will be a roll call. Representative Pinto.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I appreciate Representative Demuth highlighting the crisis in early care and learning. And really, there are two crises, as I hope that at this point members are aware. The crisis of the economics in the sector, that it's incredibly burdensome for families, and poverty wages for providers, and this is holding back employers and communities. And then, of course, we have the opportunity gaps that start in those very earliest years and are established at that point. These crises, members, have been a focus of mine and ours. They'll continue to be as we put together our budget. But the early learning provisions of House File 1064 are focused on a related but somewhat different issue, which is readiness for kindergarten this fall, and especially for those learners whose preparedness for kindergarten has been particularly disrupted by the pandemic. These provisions I referenced before in the bill introduction were heard and passed in the Early Childhood Committee, and they contain a number of important elements that are missing from the A7 amendment. They ensure that we have the very highest quality programs for our learners, 3 or 4-star rated under the Parent Aware system or accredited programs. They prioritize the most vulnerable learners. We have an explicit prioritization in this for children in foster care, those involved in the child protection system, experiencing homelessness, tribally enrolled children of teenage parents. This would establish a level of instructional standards in the bill in 1064 that's missing from the A7 amendment in terms of ensuring we have at least 6 hours per day, 5 days per week for at least 10 weeks in the course of the summer. They would allow a sliding scale for all families if space permits, and they would ensure that we receive reports back about how this is working. And again, none of these are in the A7. And I should also note that this approach would add an additional layer of administration, and that families would need to apply for a scholarship rather than just directly enroll their children. And this is particularly concerning. We're talking about such a tight period of time. This is a real focus just on this summer to make sure we get kids ready for kindergarten. Again, recognizing there are broader issues that we need to address as we will in the coming weeks, but 1064 is focused on the summer. So members, I absolutely agree that early learning scholarships can be an important part of addressing the crises in early care and learning, but shifting the same dollars around to that funding stream is not the right approach for the important goal here. And I'll note a version of this amendment was heard and rejected in the Early Childhood Committee. And members, I would ask that you do the same here. Thank you to Representative Demuth, but I would urge a no vote in the amendment. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Representative Demuth.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We know that the Early Learning Scholarship Program is an established evidence-based program already within an existing network, and the administrators can connect eligible families to eligible providers. So there is no need to reinvent the wheel. I think this is a good program. I did change this since it was heard in the Early Childhood Committee to include those 5-year-olds that were not yet in kindergarten, and with that, I would encourage a yes vote. Thank you.
The clerk will take the roll on the amendment. Those who are voting remotely, please vote. Will the clerk call the names of those who have not voted yet?
Baker. Baker. Becker Finn.
Becker Finn, no.
Becker Finn, no. Christensen.
No.
Christensen, no. Davids.
David's aye.
Davids, aye. Erickson. Erickson, aye. Feist.
Feist, no.
Feist, no. Fisher.
Fisher, no.
Fisher, no. Gomez.
Gomez, no.
Gomez, no. Green.
Green, aye.
Green, aye. Greenman.
Greenman, no.
Greenman, no. Grossel.
Russell, aye.
Grossel, aye. Gruenhagen.
Gruenhagen, aye.
Gruenhagen, aye. Hausman.
Houseman, no.
Hausman, no. Heinrich.
Heinrich, aye.
Heinrich, aye. Hornstein.
Hornstein, no.
Hornstein, no. Keel.
Keel, aye.
Keel, aye. Katiza Watun.
Katiza Watun, no.
Katiza Watun, no. Mariani.
Mariani, no.
Mariani, no. Mason.
Mason, no.
Mason, no. McDonald.
McDonald, aye.
McDonald, aye. Murphy.
Murphy, no.
Murphy, no. Nash.
Nash, aye.
Nash, aye. O'Driscoll.
O'Driscoll, aye.
O'Driscoll, aye. Pearson.
Pearson, aye.
Pearson, aye. Pryor.
Pryor, no.
Pryor, no. Sandsted.
Sandsted, no.
Sandsted, no. Schultz.
No.
Schultz, no. Scott.
Scott, aye.
Scott, aye. Swazinski.
Swazinski, aye.
Swazinski, aye. Thompson.
Thompson, no.
Thompson, no. Zhang Jie.
Xiongje, no.
Zhang Jie, no. Baker. Baker.
The clerk will close the roll. There being 63 ayes and 69 nays, the motion does not prevail. The amendment is not adopted. There's an amendment at the desk. The clerk will report the amendment.
Damath moves to amend House File Number 1064, the first engrossment. The amendment is coded A3.
Representative Damath, to your A3 amendment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The A3 amendment is for summer school aid. The amendment provides $52.25 million in per pupil funding to school districts, charter schools, and cooperative units for the in-person summer programming. The authorized uses for summer programming and including many of the same categories that are funded through the governor's grant recommendations. But rather than funding the money through MDE to pick winners and losers, this sends the money directly to the schools to choose the program best suited to the needs of their students. This gives our school districts local control. The bill remains in balance in combining many of the proposed grants within the bill into summer school aid. And with that, Madam Speaker, I would request a roll call.
Representative Damath requests a roll call. Are there 15 hands? Seeing 15 hands, there will be a roll call. Discussion to the amendment. Representative Davnie.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, I'd ask for a no vote on this Dameth amendment. It includes the weaker early childhood provision that Chair Pinto described in the last Dameth amendment. So for our little ones, I would urge you to vote no. But changing this to a per pupil, everyone gets the same thing sort of approach doesn't recognize that the pandemic wasn't evenly experienced by students of the state, by families of the state, by communities of the state. Those communities hardest hit lose out when we pick winners and losers like this amendment does. Those hardest hit who will benefit the most from the aid we're proposing in this bill will lose out when we build upon those who have been less challenged. So members, this is an opportunity for us to strengthen early childhood opportunities. It's an opportunity for us to recognize where the challenges are and stand with our fellow Minnesotans who've experienced those. For those reasons and more, I ask for a no vote on the Dameth Amendment. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Representative Dameth.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We know that giving the $52.25 million directly into local control on a per pupil basis will also benefit the greater Minnesota area that is disproportionately affected when we give away grants and in different areas. I would again encourage a yes vote on this amendment. Also, as Chair Davney mentioned, this does include the summer school funding too that is so important for our youngest beginner early learners. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The clerk will take the roll on the Dameth Amendment. Those who are voting remotely, please vote.
It also would add required training in hate crime.
Will the clerk call the names of those who have not voted yet?
Baker. Backer.
Backer votes aye.
Backer, aye. Baker. Baker. Becker Finn.
Becker Finn, no.
Becker Finn, no. Bernardi.
Bernardi, no.
Bernardi, no. Christensen.
Christensen, no.
Christensen, no. Davids.
David's aye.
Davids, aye. Detmer.
Detmer, aye.
Detmer, aye. Feist.
Feist, no.
Feist, no. Fisher.
Fisher, no.
Fisher, no. Gomez.
Gomez, no.
Gomez, no. Green.
Green, aye.
Green, aye. Greenman.
Greenman, no.
Greenman, no. Grossel.
Rossel, aye.
Grossel, aye. Gruenhagen.
Gruenhagen, aye.
Gruenhagen, aye. Hausman.
Hausman, aye. Hausman, no.
Hausman, no. Heinrich.
Heinrich, aye.
Heinrich, aye. Hornstein.
Ornstein, no.
Hornstein, no. Keel.
Keel, aye.
Keel, aye. Katiza Watun.
Katiza Watun, no.
Katiza Watun, no. Kosnick.
Kosnick, aye.
Kosnick, aye. Mariani.
Mariani, no.
Mariani, no. Mason.
Mason, no.
Mason, no. McDonald. McDonald.
McDonald, aye.
McDonald, aye. Murphy.
Murphy, no.
Murphy, no. Nash.
Nash, aye.
Nash, aye. O'Driscoll.
O'Driscoll, aye.
O'Driscoll, aye. Pearson.
Pearson, aye.
Pearson, aye. Pryor.
Pryor, no.
Pryor, no. Sandsted.
Sandsted, no.
Sandsted, no. Schultz.
No.
Schultz, no. Scott.
Scott, aye.
Scott, aye. Swazinski.
Wazinski, aye.
Swazinski, aye. Thompson.
Thompson, no.
Thompson, no. Zhang-Jie.
Zhang-Jie, no.
Zhang-Jie, no. Baker. Baker.
The clerk will close the roll. There being 63 ayes and 69 nays, the motion does not prevail. The amendment is not adopted. There's an amendment at the desk. The clerk will report the amendment.
Kreshaw moves to amend House File Number 1064, the first engrossment. The amendment is coded A9.
The member from Morrison, Representative Kreshaw.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, members. So the A9 amendment just simply is a response to what I've heard from many districts and their requests through the pandemic, and that is to fix the declining enrollment gap and to provide per pupil school aid. In the underlining bill, we see that approximately 39 million of the 107 is directly going to per pupil. That doesn't give each student a fair share of the enrollment for pupil aid. In fact, it is a disproportionate amount. We send 39 million out to the per pupil formula, and then the rest is all chosen through bureaucracy, grants, and competitive awards. What this amendment does is simply responds to what I've heard, and that is let's propose declining enrollment aid, and let's take it from the existing underlining bill, and let's take it up another $10 per pupil in funding. Additionally, the way this amendment is calculated, we provide 63 million in per pupil funding to school districts, charter schools, cooperative units, and tribal contract schools and BIA for in-person summer learning. We want to make sure that we're including all students in all schools that are delivered across the state. This authorized the use for summer programming aids, but more importantly, it gets it to the schools so they get to choose which programs they want to accelerate and move forward. The underlining bill, with the way it's put together, makes those choices for the schools and says these are the ones that are important, whereas a differing approach that I've heard and that I'm advocating for is let's allow the schools to take the dollars. Nothing in statute prevents them from doing whatever they'd like to do with it. If they believe that neighborhood programs, math corps, reading corps is the best for their school district, then they can move that forward. So with that, members, I would ask for your support. I would ask for a roll call on this differing viewpoint.
Representative Kreshaw requests a roll call. Are there 15 hands? Seeing 15 hands, there will be a roll call. Discussion to the amendment. Representative Davney.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, I'll ask for a no vote on the Kreshaw roll call. Members, any of us who have had more than one child knows that every kid is different. Any of us who've had those children in more than one school knows that every school community is different. Any of us who've lived in more than one place knows that every community is different. Our obligation here, as those privileged to lead in Minnesota, is to recognize those differences, to recognize that this pandemic was not experienced equally, that some came to it with more, and in fact were impacted far less. And that our obligation and our opportunity at this exact moment in time is to recognize what is in front of our faces, the disparities that have historically been in Minnesota and the disparities that have been exacerbated by this pandemic, and respond so that all can thrive in Minnesota. Members, school districts can't access programs that don't exist or can't expand without the support in this bill. Now that the Senate GOP has finally let their fingers off of the $57.5 million in federal aid, that will flow out to districts, to every district across the state. We're pairing that up like the way peanut butter and jelly match up to better target our support for Minnesota's students. I ask for a no vote on the Cretia amendment. Thank you.
Discussion. The member from Mille Lacs, Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And unlike 1064, this amendment focuses on our children. And I think Representative Dabney made the argument for us. Every school district and charter is different because all the children are different. They have different needs. And what Representative Cretia is doing in this amendment is ensuring that there's flexibility in our school districts and charters to provide for those individual differences. They may not have full-service community schools. They may not have partnerships, but they do have students who have various needs, and they want to make the decisions about how they address the needs, not send the money to MDE to provide for grants, and who knows how MDE is going to make those decisions, because they have nothing in definition that says they will be evidence-based. So members, support this amendment because this is for the individual needs in our districts and charters for the children as they recover lost learning. It is truly a summer learning program, unlike 1064, which is really a conglomeration of sending money to the Department of Education. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Further discussion. Representative Cretia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And there's a differing of opinion here. I don't want to play armchair superintendent. I want our superintendents and school boards to do the job that they are doing. A quick backstory about me. I actually, after my education career, I actually took all the courses to become a superintendent and principal. I was one course short. All I had to do was turn in my thesis. And I decided, with discussion with my wife, that that was not the role for me. That's a hard job. And it was just not suited for me. I could not do it as well as the current superintendents and school board members that we have out there. Nor do I want to do that as an elected official. It is not my job, my belief, that I should be making these choices. Every child was affected by this pandemic. Every school district was affected by this pandemic. There was a comment that was made earlier that 1064 will complement the way the ESSER 2 funds and soon to be ESSER 3 funds are distributed to schools. Well, members, ask your schools how those ESSER funds are distributed, because it is in a disproportionate way. This amendment puts the dollars into the hands of the schools, goes to the per pupil, and allows the schools to fairly distribute this out and to address the programs they need. Nothing in statute prevents the schools from choosing the programs they want. So with that, it's a differing viewpoint. I believe it's more equitable. I believe it addresses all the students, and I would ask for your support. Ask for a green vote.
The clerk will take the roll on the amendment. All those voting remotely, please vote. The clerk will call the roll of those who have not voted yet.
Backer,
Backer votes aye.
Backer, aye. Baker.
Baker votes aye.
Baker, aye. Becker, Finn.
Becker Finn, no.
Becker, Finn, no. Davids.
David's aye.
Davids, aye. Detmer.
Detmer, aye.
Detmer, aye. Eklund.
Eklund, no.
Eklund, no. Feist.
Feist, no.
Feist, no. Fisher.
Fisher, no.
Fisher, no. Frankie.
Frankie, aye.
Frankie, aye. Gomez.
Gomez, no.
Gomez, no. Green.
Green, aye.
Green, aye. Greenman.
No.
Greenman, no. Grossel.
Grossel, aye.
Grossel, aye. Grunhagen.
Grunhagen, aye.
Grunhagen, aye. Hausman.
Houseman, no.
Hausman, no. Heinrich.
Heinrich, aye.
Heinrich, aye. Hornstein.
Hornstein, no.
Hornstein, no. Johnson.
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Keel.
Bill, aye.
Keel, aye. Katiza Watun.
No.
Katiza Watun.
Tiza Watun, no.
Katiza Watun, no. Kosnick.
Aye.
Kosnick, aye. Mariani.
Mariani, no.
Mariani, no. Mason.
Mason, no.
Mason, no. McDonald.
McDonald, yes.
McDonald, aye. Nash.
Nash, aye.
Nash, aye. Pearson.
Pearson, aye.
Pearson, aye. Pryor.
Pryor, no.
Pryor, no. Swazinski.
Swazinski, aye.
Swazinski, aye. Thompson.
Thompson, no.
Thompson, no. Zhang Jie. Zhang Jie.
No. No.
Zhang Jie, no.
The clerk will close the roll. There being 64 ayes and 69 nays, the motion does not prevail. The amendment is not adopted. There's an amendment at the desk. The clerk will report the amendment.
Kresha moves to amend House File Number 1064, the first engrossment, as follows. The amendment is coded DE8.
The member from Morrison, Representative Kresha, to your amendment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, members, for the debate we're having. To my colleague across the aisle, Chair Dabney, I think we both agree. In fact, I know we both agree, and we've had conversations about many of the issues that are out there. We've heard the same things. And what we're doing today is we're debating differing viewpoints on how to get those out. Perhaps both sides have heard different needs to be addressed. But what we're doing here in a respectful and healthy way is presenting another approach to what we've heard. What I've heard and the members that I've talked to in the schools is the schools wanted to develop, they wanted money for declining enrollment. They wanted flexibility. They were concerned about the learning loss. They were concerned about the uncertainty of getting the dollars so that they could plan for their staff. And more importantly, they were just asking for equity-based funding on a per pupil basis so that they could solve the problems and the gap and the hole that had been put in their budgets when we went to different learning models. What I didn't hear them ask for is grants to compete for, MDE to be part of that distribution, and more complexity. Now, I understand that some people in a limited group would like to narrow those dollars to programs that they think are effective. I think there's lots of programs that we can champion. However, in this time, and we're going to have more funding down the road, there will be another omnibus bill. There will be an opportunity to put more dollars into specific programs that maybe we can shepherd along. But right now, what we're asking to do, what I'm asking with this, is to put our family and students first. What we should do is, with this amendment, $75 million in school aid for in-person instruction charter schools, cooperative units, and tribal school contracts. We do $6 million for school-linked mental health support, $9 million for CARES Act equity to the schools that is inversely distributed from the way the feds and the ESSER funds were distributed, because I've heard from many schools that could be just miles apart seeing inverse disproportionality on how their kids were receiving dollars. The reality is COVID hit the state. It hit every school. It hit every student. I don't believe that it's our job, that we have the necessary information. We're on the ground with these kids in these schools to choose which programs should be the ones that would get us out of the learning loss. That is why we have superintendents. That is why they spend their time getting PhDs. That is why they spend their time studying these issues and they work with school boards. That's what I believe my job is to listen and to represent the needs they have and to get them the money that they are looking for. One of the things that I would also highlight in the early learning scholarships, and there's lots of ways that we support our youngest learners, but one of the reasons why I've always been a big advocate for the Pathway 2 and early learning scholarships is because it puts an emphasis on students that move through that are in the maltreatment or child protection system and foster care. Kids that we know probably had the hardest, most difficult time adapting because of the lack of family support and getting to school and breaking that routine. So those are many of the reasons that I support and have offered this differing viewpoint. I would never say that one approach is good or bad. What we have is a legitimate debate about how we can solve the learning loss, the school districts per pupil declining enrollment, and how we can get these schools back on track. Members, I would ask for a roll call, and I would ask for you to consider this approach to many of the same problems that we've all heard.
Representative Krisha requests a roll call. Are there 15 hands? Seeing 15 hands, there will be a roll call. Discussion to the Krisha amendment. Representative Davney.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to request a no vote on the Krisha amendment. Representative Krisha keeps using the word equity, that this is a more equitable way of doing things. And I keep feeling like I'm suddenly in the middle of the Princess Bride movie, where one of the characters, Montoya, keeps looking at people and saying, you keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. And in fact, that's the case we have today. What's equitable is to recognize, again, what we all know, that some schools, some communities have been harder hit by the impact of the pandemic. And that our job as legislators is not just to respect reality, but to respond to it. And to do so in a way so that all Minnesota students can thrive. And let's take a minute and talk about what's lost and who loses if we adopt the Krisha amendment. High school graduates who spent the last year in distance learning in whole or in part, who may need a little check-in before they start college in the fall, they lose under the Krisha amendment, because that program doesn't happen unless we fund it. And what we know from models across the country, that connecting with students before they start that freshman year, giving them an opportunity to experience college in that summer before they start college in the fall, changes lives and more positively impacts students starting college. Who loses? Kids who are most struggling in math or reading when we don't fund math and reading core. And who else loses in that? Those core members who are getting valuable work experience at a time when jobs aren't available in our community and getting a benefit that they can use to further their education or pay down their student loans. And one that's always near and dear to my heart, who loses? High school dropouts, folks who hit a road bump on the way to high school graduation, folks who graduated but want to skill up a little bit and recognize that adult basic education is a place for them to come back when this economy comes back, because it's going to come back different than it was before, and none of us know what it's going to look like. But providing these opportunities for those folks to reskill so they can better fit into a new economy, that's good work that we should do. And taking that opportunity away from them is not a direction that this House should go. Members, I ask for a no vote on the Cretia bill. Let's reflect and respect the reality that our constituents live and make sure that we build a Minnesota where everyone has an opportunity for a world-class education and all Minnesotans can thrive. Thank you.
Discussion to the DE8 amendment. The member from Isanti, Representative Dowd.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. Appreciate the discussion, the debate. Obviously, this DE amendment is the bill that Republicans brought up last week. I think we're the ones that actually kick-started this conversation amongst your caucus. We certainly appreciate your moving a bill forward. Unfortunately, this is not a good bill. And I think this DE amendment can fix it. But this is a bill, I was struck by what Representative Davney said, and Representative Davney, I respect you, and I appreciate your passion for kids. However, this bill is misdirected. Your comment at the beginning about this is a bill for preschool through career. This is a bill if your career is going to be at MDE, at the Department of Education. But this isn't a bill really for kids, and it really isn't a bill that's going to help kids. But I really want to draw everybody's attention to the difference between the underlying bill and this DE amendment, because you're about to take a really, really important vote. So I want to make sure everybody knows about that. The average amount of money in this bill, called declining enrollment funding, per school district is $31 per pupil. Okay? $31. That's what you'll be voting for on average. I'm going to talk about some of your individual districts here in a second. On the DE amendment, the Cretia amendment that's before us right now, those kids will get $86 per kid. So almost 3 times as much per kid, directly into classrooms. Thank you. It's actually more interesting when you look at the breakdown, and I do appreciate that Representative Cretia has used the words equitable, because this bill is only equitable if you represent the Minneapolis school district, probably. The average for the Minneapolis school district, $60 per kid in this bill, per student. And the statewide average is 31. So can you imagine how many people are below 31 if Minneapolis is getting 60? Representative Wolgamott. He's usually in here. I don't see him today. Representative Wolgamott represents the St. Cloud School District. So this vote is incredibly important for you, Representative Wolgamott. Your kids under this bill will get $13 per student. And if you vote for this amendment, they will get $86 per student. Think of that. You cannot vote for this bill. If you do, you will be defunding and underfunding your kids in your school district. At what cost? Representative Sandstead, Hibbing School District, $28 per student under the underlying bill. You vote for this amendment and we fix this bill, $86 per student. White Bear Lake, Representative Wozlowick, $29 per student in this bill, $86 if you put this amendment on it. You'll literally triple the amount of money to your school districts or to your kid. Stillwater, Representative Christensen, $34 per student in this bill, 34 bucks. So if you vote for this, you're going to give kids in the Minneapolis School District $60 per child, and your kids are going to get 34. You put this amendment on it, we'll fix it. Each student will get $86, period. Virginia, $37 per student. Fix it for us, $86. So Representative Lislegard, your kids are going to get $37 in this bill. You'll be voting to give your kids $37 in this bill, while you'll be voting to give Minneapolis kids $60 per pupil. You vote for this amendment, 86 bucks is what your kids will receive. Think about it. And do not press a button in this chamber or on your computer for or against this bill until you've read these numbers. Look at the spreadsheets. Look at the spreadsheet for the underlying bill. Look at the spreadsheet for this amendment. These numbers are shocking. This doesn't even take into account the fact that already kids in the Minneapolis School District get 50% more money from the state of Minnesota than kids in my school districts. I don't know what they are for yours. But already those kids are getting 50% more money than the kids in my district. Equitable? That does not meet my definition of equitable. This bill will only make the disparity in funding between Metro, Minneapolis, St. Paul school districts and those of us in greater Minnesota greater. This bill will make that problem worse. Or you can vote for this amendment, we'll fix it, and each kid will get $86 per student. I represent part of the Elk River School District. I heard a statistic this morning that this federal money that's coming from the federal government will give $3,100 per pupil in the Minneapolis School District. And if you're in the Elk River School District, of which I represent part of it, 100. 3,100 to 100. Is that equitable? Does that meet our definition of equitable? So in this bill, $29 million will go towards declining enrollment. By the way, I don't believe that requires a kid to be in a classroom anywhere. In our bill, it'll fund optional summer school for all districts across the state with an equal dollar amount per pupil. And it requires the student and the teacher to be in the classroom. And this bill gives $1 million to the Department of Education. For what? To keep it out of classrooms. That's what it'll do. It'll keep the money out of classrooms. And that's why we call this a career bill for those that want to go to work in the Minnesota Department of Education, because that's what this bill will do. This bill funds bureaucrats. Our bill and this amendment funds kids. It gets kids into the classroom, it gets them in front of a teacher, it gets them learning, and it funds them equitably all across the state. Or we can fund bureaucrats where we only know where 1/3 of the money in this bill will go. The rest of it, we're just going to leave it up to Minnesota Department of Education to decide. Why? Maybe because this chamber and the Democrats in this chamber have gotten so used to the governor doing their job for them. We're literally going to turn over 2/3 of the money and just let the Minnesota Department of Education decide where that goes. I can assure you that that money will be distributed under the equitable formula that's in this bill, which means that Minneapolis is going to get 2 or 3 times what your district will get, because that's what MDE thinks is equitable. By the way, they're already getting twice as much as the kids in my districts. And also, by the way, they have the worst results in the state. Less than a 50% chance of graduating from high school if you're a low-income or minority student in the Minneapolis School District. And we're going to ignore the fact that the problem now has been increased and made greater because our governor has ignored science and ignored data and kept kids out of the classroom for the last year. Period. Mountains of data that show that kids can be in a classroom safely and that kids have the best result when they're in a classroom. And you know what kids were most disproportionately affected by homeschooling or distance learning? The kids that can't afford the iPads and the kids that don't have a parent at home. The low income and minority students in Minneapolis that already have the highest achievement gap in the country. At what point are you going to stand up and want to solve any of these problems? I want you to have the courage to do what's right. This bill will not solve those problems. This bill will lock kids who are already failed by a failing system into a system that's going to let them down even more. And all we're going to do is throw money at bureaucrats. Minnesota Department of Education is going to get a bunch of money. The teachers' union is going to dictate where this money goes to. Instead, you can show some courage in this chamber today, and you can support this amendment, which will fund your kids equitably. And I assure you, this is an important vote. So please pay attention to how you're going to vote. And please vote for your kids. Vote to give them the money they deserve. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The member from Hennepin, Representative Winkler.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, we are accustomed to having speeches packed with misinformation in this House, and I think we might be near a record today. It starts with the statement that we are defunding school districts by providing them with over $100 million to support kids and their needs. So it doesn't matter what school district you attend in Minnesota. If you need school-linked mental health, if you could be helped by the math corps, the reading corps, or tutoring, if you need mental health and well-being supports, if you need access to preschool or post-high school, pre-college work, if you're a Minnesota student who could benefit from these programs, you are eligible under this bill. The point here is we are targeting resources to children. We are not targeting resources to geographic districts. Even if we did decide that treating every geographic district the same was the definition of equity, I have a number of school districts across greater Minnesota who get more under the Dabney bill than they would under the Creshaw Amendment. Henning, Fisher, Badger, Floodwood, Mountain Iron Buell, Kimball, Sebeka, Monaga, Maple Lake, Lakeview, Bird Island, Devia. All of those are getting more money under the Dabney bill than they would under the Creshaw Amendment. And the reason is because we are actually looking out for children. We are not making a geographic argument. We are not trying to demonize kids in need. We are not trying to pit one part of the state against another. We are not trying to attack communities around Minnesota just because we don't have anybody who represents a district anywhere near them, which is your case. Our bill, our approach, is to look after people in need everywhere in Minnesota, not to turn parts of Minnesota against each other, not to play games during a pandemic and on COVID, which is all we have seen from the minority side of the aisle this entire session. It's been a year. It is time to get serious.
Madam Speaker, point of order.
This bill.
Madam Speaker.
Representative
State
Dabney.
your point of order, Representative Dowd.
I think we've seen the best example yet of personalities in debate and questioning motives. Him saying that we are playing games when we are literally trying to solve problems and you are ignoring that. That was the most egregious version of personalities in debate and questioning motives, and he is out of order.
Members, it is the custom and usage of the House to decline to rule on that point of order, but to advise members to avoid personalities in debate. Representative Winkler.
Madam Speaker, the Creshaw Amendment is a regional battle that doesn't help anybody. The Dabney bill helps kids. Please vote no on the amendment.
Further discussion on the Creshaw Amendment. Representative Creshaw.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. And members, look for yourself. Do the math, do the school runs. This amendment provides $107 million to help remediate the learning loss, support school mental health services, reduce disparities in federal relief funds, and help more young children get ready for their next stage of education. This summer school aid alone in this bill provides about $86 per pupil for school districts, charter schools, cooperatives, and our tribal contract schools. The declining enrollment revenue only provides 31 per pupil and actually excludes our cooperatives and tribal contract schools. We fixed that. But rather than funneling more than 52 million through the Department of Education and empowering a limited amount of bureaucrats to pick the winners and losers, and one of the things you heard was, yeah, districts are eligible. That doesn't mean you get it. You still have to apply for the grants, have somebody that's going to do all the work, hope that you get it, and then there's a time frame for all that on when the grants are actually put out, when the funds are actually given to you. All of that is holding up what the schools have asked for, which is just send us money evenly distributed on a per pupil amount so we can fix the issues that have been caused by the last year, the learning loss, and the different delivery methods. We're not asking for a lottery. We're not asking to create just a select menu that you can choose from. We're just asking to send it out to the schools. This money should go directly to the schools and let them choose which in-person or hands-on program works best to meet their students. Meet the kids where they are. If you would like to choose here in this chamber or with a select St. Paul group on what is best for school districts, this DE amendment is not for you. If you want to send this out and when you talk to your superintendents and say, we're sending you the money, please do what you do best, this DE amendment is for you. Members, I would ask for a green vote.
The clerk will take the roll on the Creshaw amendment. The clerk will call the names of those who have not voted yet.
What site are you on? What are you?
Backer.
Backer votes aye.
Backer, aye. Baker.
Baker votes aye.
Baker, aye. Becker, Finn.
Becker Finn, no.
Becker, Finn, no. Davids.
David's aye.
Davids, aye. Detmer.
Detmer aye.
Detmer, aye. Feist.
Feist, no.
Feist, no. Fisher.
Fisher, no.
Fisher, no. Frankie.
Frankie aye.
Frankie, aye. Gomez.
Gomez, no.
Gomez, no. Green.
Green aye.
Green, aye. Greenman.
No.
Greenman, no. Grossel.
Also aye.
Grossel, aye. Gruenhagen.
Gruenhagen aye.
Gruenhagen, aye. Hausman.
Houseman, no.
Hausman, no. Heinrich.
Heinrich aye.
Heinrich, aye. Hollins.
Hollins, no.
Hollins, no. Hornstein.
Hornstein, no.
Hornstein, no. Keel.
Aye.
Keel, aye. Mariani.
Keel, aye.
Mariani.
Mariani, no.
Mariani, no. Mason.
Mason, no.
Mason, no. McDonald.
Donald aye.
McDonald, aye. Nash.
Nash aye.
Nash, aye. Pearson.
Pearson aye.
Pearson, aye. Pryor.
Pryor, no.
Pryor, no. Swazinski.
Swazinski aye.
Swazinski, aye.
The clerk will close the roll. There being 64 ayes and 68 nays, the motion does not prevail. The amendment is not adopted. There's an amendment at the desk. The clerk will report the amendment.
Drazkowski moves to amend House File Number 1064, the first engrossment. The amendment is coded A10.
The member from Wabasha, Representative Drazkowski.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, members, we have a bill in front of us today that is attempting, at least partially, to mitigate the impacts of the educational theft that has been levied upon Minnesota school kids by the policies of our state chief executive. That theft is being felt by students all across our state. I hear about it nearly every day as I talk to constituents. Their frustrations with the educational theft that's been levied upon their kids is very, very high. The only thing, members, that they have more frustration with is the notion and the visions and the understanding that kids in our schools are playing their sports and being forced to wear masks as they play their sports in their schools. Not only the images of kids gasping for air as they run up and down the basketball court or the volleyball court or other places that they play is just something that is unfathomable by the constituents that I talk to. They're greatly frustrated. And Madam Speaker, members, there's an organization in Minnesota that set out, the organization's name is Let Them Play Minnesota. And they're advocating for the kids in our state.
Representative Morrison.
They have.
For what purpose do you rise?
Madam Speaker, I rise to a point of order under Rule 3.21.
State your point of order.
Under 3.21, motions and propositions on a subject matter different from that under consideration must not be admitted under the guise of its being an amendment. This bill is related to summer education programs. The amendment brings in a new topic of youth sports and additional entities like the Minnesota State High School League, so it's not germane.
Madam Speaker?
Madam Speaker.
Representative Drazkowski.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to offer advice. Indeed, this is a germane amendment. The other elements of the bill, as a matter of fact, Representative Morrison might want to look at the provision right above the point at which this amendment's inserted in the bill. It talks about a transition program. It is, again, a policy issue, not dealing specifically with the rest of the items in the bill. It fits in to the context of the bill in that it is session law like each of the provisions around it. It has to do with the impact of COVID on kids in schools, just like the other elements of the bill do. This is very germane, Madam Speaker. This is an omnibus bill dealing with a variety of issues and around education and COVID. This is exactly the same type of provision that I'm attempting to insert with this amendment. Madam Speaker, I would ask that you find the amendment germane and perfectly fitting within the context of this bill.
Members, I have reviewed the amendment in the bill, and I find the Morrison point of order well taken. There are no further amendments at the desk. The clerk will give the bill its third reading.
Third reading, House File Number 1064.
Third reading. Discussion to the bill. The member from Olmsted, Representative Quam.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. And one thing that has come to mind on this bill is it's supposed to be for summer school. Summer school is meant to help students that are behind to catch up. And the reason students are behind is pretty evident, that the remote, distant, and hybrid models have not functioned for the majority of students so that they can learn even close to the rate of which they're used to. Unfortunately, this bill isn't funding for each student the opportunity to learn in person to catch up with a year of lost education. And furthermore, 3/4 of this bill isn't funding for summer school. 2/3 isn't directly going to the schools. Our students need results. And it's obvious the results from what has been going on for the majority of students for this past year have not been good. And I think there's been an effort in the amendments to try and improve this bill. But frankly, we should not be voting to give funds to things that aren't working, because that delays actually funding what's needed and required. We should be debating what works and avoiding what doesn't work. I had high hopes for this bill. I had high hopes that amendments would help make this a better bill. But I've been on a school board. I've been on a special education district governing board with multiple school districts. And I've focused many years on helping students that don't fit into the normal mode of education or are left behind, or there are issues that are preventing them from gaining everything they could. The object of education in the state of Minnesota is to help students. I'm disappointed that this bill doesn't appear to do more than fund things that aren't working, fund bureaucrats instead of sending money directly to the schools. And frankly, I think the students deserve better from us. And I am sorry to all of the students and the parents that are listening today that haven't seen that. We are trying to fund what will work. We are trying to help the students to gain back what they've lost in this year. And Madam Chair and members, stop and think about what is needed instead of what sounds good, and provide the tools that our students deserve. Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Speaker.
The member from Wabasha, Representative Drazkowski.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I find it rather frustrating that the majority doesn't want to hear from us on some of these issues. Madam Speaker, members, the amendment that I brought forward is perfectly germane to this bill, but simply the ideas of the minority are not welcome here. That's what we're hearing. We can't even talk about them. Well, members, I'm going to talk about them because they apply directly to this bill. They apply directly to the effects of COVID on the people of Minnesota, on the kids of Minnesota, and what we are doing to them with this oppressive policy that our chief executive has placed upon the citizens of our state. Madam Speaker, members, back in January, a Minnesota organization surveyed Minnesotans throughout the state and found that over 2,500 Minnesotans reported that their child or they themselves experienced dizziness and shortness of breath while playing in sports and athletic activities around their school while wearing a mask. The survey also found that 14 kids collapsed and 11 needed emergency care. As a matter of fact, Madam Speaker, in the survey results, students, coaches, and parents, one of those students shared, very difficult to breathe, and I personally feel claustrophobic and have some panic, breathing, and shortness of breath. And a Minnesota coach said, as a coach, I see daily how much these kids are struggling. Wearing a mask while doing a full-out run through or during competition, which takes about 5 minutes, I feel it's extremely dangerous and the risk of wearing the masks outweigh the benefits. As a matter of fact, Madam Speaker and members, the governor is not following science here either. As a matter of fact, the CDC raises the same concern and says, quote, people who are engaged in high intensity activities like running may not be able to wear a mask if it causes difficulty breathing. Madam Speaker, members, the NCAA right now during their competition are allowing their athletes on the court to play without a mask. All of this, Madam Speaker and members, while the kids in our schools are being forced to wear a mask, and I can only imagine the gasping as they are forced to exchange the carbon dioxide and gasp for oxygen. What are we doing? And the Democrats in the House don't even want to hear this amendment to relieve them of this. This is outrageous, Madam Speaker. You wouldn't even hear it. So the NCAA athletes can operate without a mask, while the kids in our schools have a smaller chance of catching the virus than the NCAA athletes. They also have a smaller chance of transmitting it, should they catch it. And they have a smaller chance of developing any complications from the virus, should they catch it. Which, by the way, Madam Speaker and members, I understand yesterday there were 0 deaths in Minnesota from the virus after reading the Department of Health's report. What are we doing? We aren't acknowledging science. The governor's not acknowledging science. And then the House Democrats won't even hear an amendment to relieve and free Minnesota's kids from this oppression that is suffocating them. Madam Speaker, Representative Davney brings a bill that is just as misdirected as the one that we saw last week. Representative Creasy talked about the ESSER 2 funds that were spent last year, the federal money that was deployed here in Minnesota, $529 million of federal funds that were distributed to our schools through a formula. If we take the $1.3 billion that is expected to be deployed here to our schools in the next month, we're going to see 2.45 times as much money deployed to our schools from the federal government as was deployed last May and June. We can expect that, I'm told, over the next month or so. So that means, Madam Speaker and members, cities like, or schools like the Minneapolis School District, $192 million of federal money that the Minneapolis School District is going to receive. Bemidji, $12 million. Mankato, $10.5 million that they will receive from the federal government. New Ulm, $2.2 million. Cloquet, $3.5 million. And I could go on, Madam Speaker and members, because the list of our school districts is long. But the reality is our schools are receiving plenty of money for them to hold summer school, fall school, winter school, spring school, day school, night school, or any school that that school district wants to hold. And what do we have before us? We have before us a bill that takes state money, about less than a tenth, 1/13 of the amount of this federal money in state money, and spends that money before the federal money comes. And then wraps around this state money all kinds of structure that makes it impossible for many of our school districts to use portions of that money. The exact types of mandates that I, in my 14 years in the Minnesota House of Representatives, as I've talked to superintendents, every single one of them, every time has told me not to do. And members, they've told you too. And Representative Davney, Madam Speaker, members, you're doing it. Why are we doing this? The federal money is coming. Our schools have the ability to spend it the way they need to spend it and can best spend it. If we allow that federal money to be unencumbered instead of being intercepted by Representative Dabney's bill and conditioned with all kinds of requirements, if we can only do that, Madam Speaker, we as members will actually be doing, for the first time that I can remember, what our superintendents and our school districts and our teachers and our parents and the kids in our school district want and need. Members, please vote no and allow that to happen. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The member from Dakota, Representative Koznick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I had a couple questions for the author of the bill, if he would yield.
He will yield. Representative Koznick.
Thank you. Representative Dabney, can you explain to me a little bit, since I'm not on the Education Committee, where the decline in enrollments, how they were calculated? I see the spreadsheet that you sent us from this morning. You've got the financial year 20 and the financial year 21. I'm assuming you're subtracting the difference between those, but how are the actual pupil units derived for each school district?
Representative Dabney.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Representative Koznick, for the question. As you may recognize, Minnesota has, as part of its part of its education formula, a declining population portion, where we provide 28% of a declining, 28% of the formula for each student who, boy, I just can't do it. Let me start over. Madam Speaker, Representative Koznick, thank you. Representative Koznick, as you may know, our education formula recognizes the fixed costs that school districts experience even in the face of declining enrollment. So we provide 28% of the school district's formula the following year to help cushion the declining enrollment they may experience from year to year. House File 1064 looks at that and looks at the dramatic drops in enrollment that some school districts across the state have experienced as a result of the pandemic, moves that 28% up to 48.5. And it's based on, you named it, subtraction. Looking at the number of students reported by the school district in school year 2021 versus the numbers reported in school year 2019-20. The difference is the decline, and that's what we're responding to. The budget forecast estimates a return of a significant number of those students next fall and more returning in the several years after that, about a 4-year clock of return to full numbers in our schools. Thank you for asking.
Representative Koznick.
Thank you, Representative Dabney and Speaker Hortman. I might suggest that the audio in the chamber be turned up a little bit. It's hard to hear from our offices, and Representative Drazkowski might appreciate with the mask on. Representative Dabney, it was difficult to hear your answer completely, but I think I got enough of it. But you know, I'm talking with my school district in Lakeville. I've got a couple other school districts as well. But on the email that you sent and the spreadsheet that you have for the individual districts, you have Lakeville at 180 increase in enrollment, which is contrary to what my discussion is with my superintendent in Lakeville, that we actually have a 2% decrease. And so obviously this bill doesn't address, there's a discrepancy there that is concerning. And I know Easter's coming up, but I just see a bunch of Easter eggs in the funding for Lakeville, all zeros here, and a neighboring district for Randolph. But so I'm not going to be able to support that until I understand why we have an increase of 180 students in the Lakeville district, when in fact it sounds like we have about a 2% decrease, or about 250 students lower, which would equate to, maybe $350,000 in funding that is not reflected in this bill here. So I won't be able to support it today. Maybe as the bill continues to work its way through and comes back, we can figure out what the difference is on that. But further, only 36% of the funding in this bill goes directly to the schools, I'm told. And a significant portion of the funding of this bill has no in-person requirement. And that's what we're trying to do, is to help get our kids caught up from our distance learning and the learning gap. So if we're trying to get kids caught up after a year of distance learning, they need to be in the classroom. And I would encourage the Department of Education, who I'm certain is listening, to relax some of the standards so that kids can stay in school even with a limited amount of positive cases would be helpful. That's just a policy change that wouldn't cost much. So Representative Dabney, I won't be able to support your bill today, but I will continue to watch this and see if we can correct that discrepancy for my district. Thank you.
Any further discussion to the bill? The member from Hennepin, Representative Robbins.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, members. I also rise in opposition to this bill. Of the $107 million supposedly going to summer school, only 27% of that funding is going towards directly to schools for summer school. The rest of it is going to the department that they can decide who gets it. And members, I have to tell you, based on experience, that is going to hurt my district. So there's been a lot of discussion about equity and making sure that students with higher needs get additional money, but that is happening already in the formula, and that is happening already with the federal ESSER money. So I've been looking at the spreadsheet as well that Chair Dabney set around today, and under his bill, versus what the Crenshaw DE amendment would have done, Minneapolis gets an increase of $60 per pupil, but it would have gone to $86 under the Crenshaw amendment. So your students would have done better. But in my district, under the Dabney bill, Anoka Hennepin gets $33. We would have had $86. Rogers, Elk River has 48 under the Dabney bill. Under the Crenshaw amendment, we would have had 86. Osseo Maple Grove, 26. We would have had 86. Members, this bill is not funding summer school, and it's not helping our districts. It's sending a lot of money to the department. And there is a lot of federal money that is going to school districts with higher needs. So the ESSER money from ESSER 1 and 2, that's been from the federal CARES money and doesn't account for the most recent amount that's come out. Under ESSER 1 and 2, Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minneapolis got $3,001 per student. St. Paul got $3,086 per student. My school districts, Anoka Hennepin, got $469 per student. Osseo Maple Grove, $299 per student. Rogers, Elk River, $123 per student. So the federal money already significantly weights towards the districts with the higher needs. So at the federal money, our districts are being disadvantaged. Under the Dabney bill, our districts are being disadvantaged. And members, this money should be going to summer school. Our students have needs. For 27% of this $107 million to be going to the department is just not what our school districts are expecting. I met with my school districts last week. They really need this. And I know more money will be coming from the federal government that they will also be able to tap into, but they are planning now. So I'm so disappointed that the Crenshaw DE didn't go, because that would have been a significant improvement to this bill. And I do think that there's more work to do, and I hope we will get there, members. Thank you.
The member from Freeborn, Representative Bennett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I also stand in opposition to this bill. I appreciate the intent of it. I do believe, our schools have a lot to do to get our students caught up from being stuck at home on distance learning for so long. But members, this just does not do the job. Competitive grants. Many of my local school districts are smaller. We don't have dedicated grant writers to do this? Are they supposed to hire people? We can do this in a better way and in a better way for our schools and our students. The distribution is not equal. Much of it's based on things like free and reduced lunch, which can be a good thing, but we've seen it skewed before. And I know what I'm hearing from my local districts is that because lunches are free for everybody right now, parents are not filling out the free and reduced lunch forms. So the accurate count is not there for our districts to get the appropriate dollars. In addition, the lack of equity, I believe, is huge in this bill. When we have Albert Lee, it will get $38 increase, Alden $19 increase, United South Central $0, Glenville Emmons $0, Minneapolis $60, and so it's all over the place. And the ESSER funds, which the districts are getting as well, have much money for these districts that have the high free and reduced lunch. So in this case with summer school, I think we need to be more balanced and equitable throughout the state, which is what the Creshaw Amendment would have done, giving $89 per district. So I just don't feel that is a balanced approach here. Half of the bill does not really go directly to summer school. It's other things, and some of those are important things, but they should be in different bills, not in a summer school bill. So members, I just don't see that this is the way to go. Again, the intent, Chair Dabney, I think is very admirable, but what it's doing actually, I believe, will not get the dollars to the districts that need it all over our state. So thank you, Madam Speaker.
Further discussion to the bill. Representative Dabney.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, members, for this vigorous debate. Let me respond to a couple of the questions that have been raised by GOP members. Representative Koznick, the data that was used to develop the runs that you see looking at the declining enrollment aid is based on data that school districts provided. More specifically, it's based on data that school districts provided January 10th. Now, if Lakeville didn't report correctly, they have the opportunity to correct that error. And I would urge them to do that, because under this bill, the distribution of those funds that so many districts need is based on actual numbers, not the projections. So if they erred, please urge your superintendent to correct their error and update their records. And we've had a lot of traffic on the word equity today. That word's got to be exhausted by the end of this debate. But I want to point out, Representative Robbins is right. We have failed as a state to invest in education. We have failed to look at the research, to know what works for our youngest children, to know what works for our high schoolers, to prepare them to take their places as adults. We've failed to fund those opportunities. We stalled out as a state where we used to lead corporate tax cuts to dead people and expensive cigar smokers have been more important than building the next and new Minnesota. And so we look at runs like this, and we look at our district, and then we look at other districts and say, but. Mirrors are hard to look into sometimes, aren't they? We're at a pivot point if we choose as a state. We can begin today to invest in those students, those families, and those communities who've been hardest hit, who have carried, in many ways, the heaviest burden of this pandemic. The families of those frontline workers that we praise in our speeches, but vote against funding in our actions. Members, this is a strong statement of pre-kindergarten to career opportunities for Minnesota students and families. It provides equitable, broad, flexible support for school districts across the state and marries that with targeted assistance and supports for programs that school districts can access. Perhaps most importantly, it has several provisions to help those students who receive special education services, who perhaps were the hardest hit in districts across the state, opportunities for in-home supports, if that's what works for them, to spend another year in a transition program so they're ready for work and life. And it assures adult learners who need a step up to take their place again as this economy comes back, the opportunities that they need. Members, every student in Minnesota deserves a world-class education. Every Minnesotan deserves an opportunity to thrive. I ask for your green vote on House File 1064. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The clerk will take the roll on the bill. Members, please vote. The clerk will take the roll of those members who have not voted yet.
Backer.
Backer votes no.
Backer, no. Baker.
Baker votes no.
Baker, no. Davids.
Davids, no.
Davids, no. Detmer.
Detmer, no.
Detmer, no. Feist.
Feist, aye.
Feist, aye. Fisher.
Fisher, aye.
Fisher, aye. Frankie.
Frankie, no.
Frankie, no. Freiberg.
Freiberg, yes.
Freiberg, aye. Garofalo. Garofalo. Gomez.
Gomez, aye.
Gomez, aye. Green.
Green, no.
Green, no. Greenman.
Greenman, aye.
Greenman, aye. Grossel.
Grossel, no.
Grossel, no. Grunhagen.
Grunhagen, no.
Grunhagen, no. Hausman.
Hausman, aye.
Hausman, aye. Heinrich.
Heinrich, no.
Heinrich, no. Hornstein.
Hornstein, aye.
Hornstein, aye. Keel.
Keel, no.
Keel, no. Mariani.
Mariani, aye.
Mariani, aye. Mason.
Mason, aye.
Mason, aye. McDonald.
McDonald, nay.
McDonald, no. Nash.
Nash, no.
Nash, no. Pearson.
Pearson, no.
Pearson, no. Pryor.
Pryor, aye.
Pryor, aye.
For the day, though.
Swazinski.
hard. That's it, man.
Swazinski, no.
Swazinski, no. Walgamot. Walgamot, aye. Garofalo. Garofalo. he calling in?
Representative Garofalo, we can see you, but we can't hear you. Let's give it one more try.
Garofalo.
Garofalo, aye.
Garofalo, aye. I don't know. Is he sure?
The clerk will close the roll.
Oh, that's right.
There being 69 ayes and 63 nays, the bill is passed and its title agreed to.